All right, in this video, we're going to go over some examples using transform plane. I'm going to do some machining on the top side of the part, just kind of as a reference. Then we're going to do some work on the front side and right side of the part. Just put a couple simple geometries on there, just so we can use transform plane and do some machining with it, cancel it, and use transform plane again on another side of the part, so we can kind of get an idea how we're going to lace these programs together. So first of all, I've created a stock geometry of a 6x6x6 cube, and the front left corner of the top side is our 0 point. So that's what we're going to be programming on. And I have the very first block in the program as a rotary position block. We always want to start out a program with the rotary position, because that's going to ensure that the machine goes to A0 and C0 or whatever. We're starting from a known position, so we always want to start that out. I'm going to go through some of the fields here in the rotary position block so you can see some of the options that we have for this block. But typically, I'd say 80% of the time, I just insert it as a rotary position and move on. I don't worry about any of the settings. There's usually a specific reason if I'm going to use those. Here on the first set of parameters, we have reset rotary encoder. If I have wound up the rotary axis, for example, to 3,000 or 4,000 degrees for some reason, and then I want to command it to go back to 0, if I don't set this to yes, to reset the encoders to somewhere between 0 and 360 degrees, it will unwind however many degrees it wound up. So I would put a yes here, that would reset it, and that way we'd have a very short move back to 0. After I go to this rotary position, do I want the program to stop? How do I want the z-axis to behave when I go to this rotary position, or before I go there? Do I want it to retract all the way home in z? Or I can set a position which would open up this field here. I can put in a z position. The second move would be, we're down here in the third move, we're going to position a final location where the x and y and z will go position while the axes go to 0. The tilting and the rotary axis set to whatever rotary angle we have it set to down here in this third position. The second move would be a position to go through on its way to the final position. So again, very, very specific reasons you would use that. Maybe you're going around a clamp or a fixture or something like that. But the one we'll almost always set, if we're doing anything when we come into a rotary position, is we will either put a X or a Y position for it to move to, or we will turn that off so it won't move at all if we need X and Y to move. Many times I'll just turn these all off and only put something for the fourth and fifth axis. So that's kind of how the rotary position works. Again, you'll want to start every rotary and every 5-axis program with a rotary position, just to make sure we're starting in a known location. All right, so let's go ahead and do some programming. So I said I'm going to do some work on the top side of the part. We have not done any rotary position or transform planes or anything, so we are working on the top of the part. This is just 3-axis work now. So I'm going to do a simple mill polygon block, and I'm going to do 3-sided polygons. So I'll do a little triangle. So I'm going to open my program here, go to next block, select milling, more, and polygon. 3 sides to that polygon. Now, if the front left corner of the part is 0, then I need to move positive X and positive Y, both of 3 inches, to get to the center of the part. I'm going to size the polygon with a outer diameter circle of 4 inches. I don't need to rotate around the center at all. We're going to go to 0.1, and we're going to go to a final depth of 0.5. I'll use tool 1, and we'll make this a pocket boundary. Now, when I draw this, we should have a triangle in the middle of the top side of the part. Again, this is no different than any other 3-axis job we've done. So now I want to do some work on the right side of the part. So I'm going to put this 4-sided polygon here on the right side. So I'm going to have to use a transform plane to orient or to move my origin point temporarily, and then that same transform plane block I'll use to then rotate my work plane into position. So we'll go up here to mill polygon. We're going to go to next block. Rotary transform planes and transform plane end are all underneath this rotary and transform planes menu here, off the main menu selections for programming. So I'm going to select rotary and transform plane, transform plane. Now, as we've seen in the previous videos how this works, we're going to put a measured distance from where we currently are, what our origin point is, and we're going to give it a distance to where we want the new position to be. So on this slide here, you can see that our original is the upper left or the front left corner of the top side. I'm just going to move to this corner, which would be the bottom right corner of the top side, or front right corner of the top side. So what is the distance from where we were currently to where we're going? And we're going to move 6 inches positive in X. I'm not moving anything in Y. I don't have to move anything in Z. So I just need to put in a value of 6 inches positive in the X field. Next, I'm going to rotate around the Y axis. So I've moved my position. Now I'm going to rotate around Y to the positive side. So I just put 90 around the Y axis to the positive side. And that has moved my origin point and reoriented my work plane. So now I'm ready to do whatever programming I need on that right side. So I'll go to next block, milling, find polygon again. We're going to do a 4-sided polygon. Now, we have tipped like this. This is our 0, so I'm going to move +3, +3 to get me to the center of that right side. Again, I'm going to use a outer diameter of 4 inches. We'll do 0.1 again. Let's go down a 1/2 inch. Use tool 1, make it a pocket boundary. Okay, so everything I do from this point on in the program will be referencing that new origin point with that new tilted work plane, so the tool will be perpendicular to the right side. When I'm done, I will simply use a transform plane end to revert me back to the original part setup, or the top side of the part, front left corner. So in this case, all I'm doing is this one particular 4-sided polygon. So my next block then can be my transform plane end. So I go to rotary and transform planes, transform plane end. So if we look at our program here, everything between this transform plane block at block 3 and the end at block 5 will be done at this new location. So let's bring up our graphics here and let's watch. We'll see our top one, and then there is the one on the right side. Now I'm going to go back to the program. I'm going to do my next block, which is going to be a transform plane, and this time we're going to move to the front side of the part. So I'm going to program down here, the bottom left corner of the front side is going to be my 0 point. That's where I want my origin point to be for this work on the front. So in that case, I don't have to move anything in X, nothing in Y, and I'm going to drop down the full 6 inches negative in Z. So I'll put a -6 inches in Z. This time, I'm going to rotate to the front, which would be around the X axis to the 90-degree positive. Next block is going to be my polygon. This time we're going to make it a 6-sided polygon. Again, +X. If you see here, we're in this corner, so we're going to move +X, +Y. Same 4-inch diameter, 0.1 minus 0.5. Tool 1, pocket boundary. We're done. The next block will then be our transform plane end. And if we go to draw this, we will now have work on the top, right side, and the front side of the part. So again, we would just continue stacking these transform planes together throughout the program until we get all the features on the part at all the angles that we need. And we would also try to think about our tool changes when we do this. This was all done with the same tool number one. If I were now going to go in and center drill or drill, I might do this all again at the same rotations and the same transform planes with my next tool and so on, just to help keep some of those tool changes down to help with speed. So hopefully that explains some of the transform plane. You can see how that's being used in a program. The next video we do is going to go a little bit more in depth about where these rotations happen and give you a little bit more visual about what is actually happening when we do these transform planes. And we'll talk a little bit about when we don't go a full 90 degrees.